Hello, everyone. Hi, happy Monday. I deeply
Happy Tuesday.
apologize.
Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday, oh my gosh. When you have a holiday weekend, it always knocks me off
Yeah.
schedule. I don't know where I am. Um,
Yeah.
Ah, and I was so distracted. We started the stream a minute late because I was so distracted saying hello to Carly. It has been way too long
Yes.
since we were both here
I am
together.
so happy to be back.
I missed you. I missed you so much.
You.
Glad I know you've been feeling under the weather, so I'm so glad that you took the time and feel good enough to be able to chat with us.
Of course.
Uh,
It's an
um,
exciting time.
well, I assume that you must have talked the week that you were here, but I was gone, about some of your adventures when you went to see the cruise ship,
Yes.
and so I will have to catch up on that with you
A lot of
later.
adventures. Hence why I'm in the situation I'm in.
Right. Exactly. And we'll do our recap as soon as we start the recording, and you can
Yes.
decide how much you want to feel like sharing. But before we jump into that, why don't we say hi to some of our good friends in the chat? And first in surprise, surprise, of course, is Mr. Michael
Yay.
Bingham. Welcome back, Michael.
Hello,
Happy
Michael.
Tuesday. I should have just read your comment and I would have known it's Tuesday, not Monday. Also, hello to Javier. Thanks for joining us. Hello to Blossom and Michelangelo. Welcome back. Javier has a question. It is rumored that a new Indiana Jones attraction as Indiana Jones Temple of the Foliated Cross is in Tropical Americas is coming to Disney's Animal Kingdom. I know that an Indiana Jones ride is coming to Disney's Animal Kingdom in the Tropical Americas, replacing the Dino Land area. I did not know that was the subtitle.
I
Is that
haven't
the
heard that
title? I
either.
have not heard that title yet. So um I'm not sure about that, but you will definitely see a new Indiana Jones. Here's the deal: it's going to be physically similar to the Indiana Jones ride in California, because both that and Dinosaur, which is what is currently there, are
Yeah.
basically the same vehicles, a very similar track layout, like 98% the same track.
Right.
But it will be redressed. There'll be different scenes. It won't have the eyes of Mara. But I'm wondering about the rolling ball. It's so iconic.
It's iconic. Yeah.
Can you do an Indiana Jones ride without having the rolling ball as the
No.
finale? I don't know. But that rolling ball and those walls that, spoiler alert, you don't actually move backwards. The walls move and make you think you're moving backwards. It's a really great trick. But it causes so many problems. It feels like every other refurb
Right.
is to get that working. So, maybe that won't be part of the new ride. We will just have to wait and see. But thank you for watching and joining us, Javier, and keep the questions coming. Brian Sager says it feels like we got hit with a tsunami of news and updates. Yes, we got stuff from D23 that we will be talking about. A lot of stuff to feel good about. Some stuff people might have different feelings about, but
Yeah.
we'll chat. And John Self checking in from his writing from his ivory tower. Thanks, John. Good to hear from you. All right. Well, we've got quite a few people already in the chat. So why don't we go ahead and kick this thing off? If I can remember, it's been a couple weeks. How to do
Yes.
it. Wrong button. That would definitely have been the wrong button. Let's go over here. All right, we're gonna do this thing in 3, 2.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and MEI-Travel. I am Seth.
And I'm Carly.
And we are here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more. as well as what's been going on in our own lives. And Carly, last time I was here, I had Blake filling in. It is so good to have you back,
Yes.
the team back together again.
Back.
How are you feeling? How have you been doing? What have you been up to?
Yeah, so a month of travels finally
Yeah.
caught up to me, and I was taken down for the count.
Oh.
Unfortunately, been along like over a week, so be careful
Oh
out there
no.
because what's going around is no joke. So unfortunately, I had to miss the opening of HHN Orlando, which I was really bummed about. But you know what? It will be there. Health is wealth. You got to take
Yeah.
care of yourself if you're traveling. I don't know. I wash my hands a million times. I don't really
Right.
know if there's anything that could prevent it.
I don't know. Wear your mask on the airplane is my
Yes.
only tip, but I don't always follow it myself.
Right. And it's like, I
Yeah,
don't even know if it works. I'm going to just get sick because it's going around.
I'm so sorry. But
It's
I'm
okay.
glad you're on the upswing. You're past the worst of it and
Yes.
feeling better enough to be here and chat with
Yes.
us. And we did miss you. We were all talking at the HHN event about
I
where's
know.
Carly because we were
Oh,
hoping to see you.
yes. It was very humbling to receive a lot of nice messages about being missed. So that's nice.
It was definitely the highlight of my week, and it will be a main topic of our conversation.
Yes.
So hopefully you can have a vicarious HHN experience, and when you go out and experience in California, I can get it vicariously from you, vice versa. So
I am very excited to
repay the
be
favor.
on the up and up because I am going to the opening of HHN Hollywood, which is my favorite. I'm going to do the red carpet. I can't wait for Terror Tram. It's Blumhouse this year. Waterworld, Purge Show. It's going to be amazing. So I'm very excited to not miss that.
I can't wait to hear all about it, and I can't wait to discuss HHN Orlando with you as we jump right into the news in the queue. All right, the big news, as you might have guessed, out here in Orlando is the grand opening of Halloween Horror Nights 25 or Halloween Horror Nights 34.
34, yes.
Are we up to 34? Yep.
Yes.
It said I lose count, especially with that pandemic year. Well, I got to attend with a fantastic RIP media tour. We had a fabulous tour guide.
Who's your guide?
Billy Jane. She's terrific. She's actually an award-winning playwright and performer here in town.
Amazing.
And she did a great job of filling us in on the backstories, which, unless you, they've been posting a lot of them on the Universal Halloween YouTube channel as little like storybook style things, or also on their podcast. So you're not going to get a lot of the detail of the backstory from just the little blurbs that are posted in the website and the app. Right. So if you're interested in that, either follow those podcasts or YouTube videos, or better yet, get an RIP tour to really dig into it, or take one of the daytime backstage tours, and those really get you all of the details. Definitely. But most importantly, it got us through all 10 houses with time to spare. And that's really hard, even with an express pass anymore.
Absolutely.
Just the fact that because of the construction for demolition of Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket is, rerouted all of the paths the longest way possible back to those sound stages. If you're trying to tour efficiently and hit the ones with the low weights, you are really hiking back and forth around backstage. And having a RIP tour guide means that they can just like open gates, walk you through employee only areas. And it saved steps as well as saving a lot of time in the queue.
Absolutely.
So,
it is absolutely worth it. It is
not cheap, but worth every penny.
Yeah. Not cheap, but also not much more than express. So I think if you think about it in that little tiny price jump for like a 10 times better experience.
Yeah. There's definitely value in there. So
Did you write this list, or was this you?
no. So here's the interesting thing about this list. Andy Haynes was with me and Matt Roseboom, our publisher. He took all the photos, videos, but Andy wrote up this article. But it was literally me, Andy, and Matt, going through every house pretty much together. So we were feet away. And the fact that I have vastly different opinions on some of these houses than what Andy wrote up it goes to show that every single person's experience at HHN is really personal and really unique, and saying that like someone's opinion no longer matters because they had this house as number one or this house is the worst house and it disagrees with what you think or what everyone else online says. Every single person who was walking through that house, even if they're just next to you, is having a totally different experience, depending on where they're looking at a certain moment, depending on what the timing of the actor is, and depending on what scares them or what it is about Halloween Horror Nights that they like.
Absolutely. And if there's a cast change, if you hit it wrong, because sometimes if you ever go through a house and you're like 3 people behind the person that gets the scare consistently, and then you come out and you're like, dang,
nothing happened to me.
Everything. Yeah.
Here's the other thing.
Every time.
My personal opinion on the houses, which is going to be published in the Orlando Weekly in a few hours or a few days. It's different than most people. Most people are all about, how much did they get me? How scared was I? How many jump scare? I don't jump scare. Like you can literally jump right out, stick like Art the Clown, like burst out of nowhere, came within 2 inches of my face with his fingers. And I was just like, cool.
Yeah.
Because I work backstage
broken.
at the haunted house. I'm broken. My startle reflex is completely broken.
I'm with you, and that's why I judge mostly on like aesthetic, atmosphere.
I'm looking for this. I'm looking for the storyline. I'm looking for the creativity. I'm looking for the special effects. The pacing, those kind of things. So what if in one house in particular that we're going to talk about, what a lot of people loved about it left me totally cold. So let's jump right into this, because we could probably take up the whole episode just talking about HHN. So we're going to start at the dead bottom, literally and figuratively for Andy, was Grave of Flesh, which is a original house, and the idea is that you are going to your own funeral, you're going through your death and decay, and then there are demons or flesh-eating creatures that are going to eat you up. It's got a few cool moments. It's got a great opening where you like go down to the grave, and then it's got this cool MC Escher staircase thing. But it was just kind of confusing, and it was not my very last, but it was in my bottom third. The
storyline seems a little convoluted. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
For me, the one thing it really made me, it had a few moments. It was like, oh, if they got the rights to do Hellraiser, or especially Hellraiser 2, they could do it really, really well. There's like one room like that's I want them to finally get the license for that. The Andy's second to last was Hatchet and Chains Demon Bounty Hunters. It's an Old West. It's a spin-off from Slaughter Cinema 2. It's got like the Wild West ghost town look, but with lava demons, which I kind of liked this like wildfire paint that like fluoresced, given this lava look. It was either really kind of goofy and B-movie, which you either like or don't like. I liked this one a little better than Andy did. It was kind of middle of the road for me. Gawkin, Monsters of the North.
This is one that I'm really hyped for.
Yeah, I was really excited, and for me, this was actually kind of a little better than average. But for Andy, it was in his bottom 3. The storyline, I agree with him, was a little muddled. You have a lot of these, if you don't have someone describing it to you, you have to pay attention to audio cues, and those get shouted over. But it's about a woman who gets transformed into a beast and raises these demons. It's kind of like Midsummer meets Wicker Man.
Oh, good description.
But I thought it would be like an ice house. I like it when there's a snow house.
So
And
I thought it was going to be like
I guess it's like
Vampire.
summer in
Yeah.
Norway or whatever.
Oh.
So there's it's not a cold house. It's not an icy house, but for a tent house, it's got a really good sense of scale. There's this ending where you like walk inside this monster, and the scare actors in that last section, super aggressive. Great job. Bravo. Here's one that was a disappointment for both me and Andy.
And it seems like every single review.
And this is the only thing everyone seems to agree on this year.
This is a universal.
This was Andy's number 7. It was my second to the bottom. Fallout. I played the video games when I was a little kid, way back to the originals. The show is great, and it starts off really strong. It does a really good job of following Lucy and recreating scenes from the opening episode, but it just kind of goes off the rails, and you get hardly any of the Ghoul, who's my favorite character. You don't get much Maximus. There's just Andy and I both had so many things that we wanted more from, and it felt like it was the one that really made me feel like they shouldn't be doing 5 IPs unless they can treat all 5 equally.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they had 4 IPs this year and spread the budget, it would have been stronger. It just this one did not work for me.
That is a bummer. But again, everyone has said the same thing. So I'm super curious if this evolves throughout the season or if it's just, it is what it is.
One that I kind of disagreed a little with Andy. I liked this one better than he did. He had a number 6, El Artista, a Spanish haunting. This was actually my number 3.
Yes, I saw this in a lot of tops of
lists. And I think it's kind of, what do you want out of a haunted house? If you want a lot of gore and really aggressive scares, that's not what this one is about. I feel like there's room for a beautiful haunted house that is more about inspiring awe with the scale. And this is one of the biggest, most impressive facades they've ever built. The architecture of this is just stunning. And I love the way different sections communicate. Because it's a house that's falling apart, there's sections where you can see where people in a different section of the house are going through. And it really makes it feel like it's a real building as opposed to just a maze.
Yeah. Whenever they do these Spanish or Latin American influence houses, they're usually like beautiful and always one of my favorites because they just look so great, and they're really great to do in the Lights On tour.
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to the director and writer of this house, Ramon Perdoa.
Yep.
He's just been around for a few years. He's one of the newer people on the team, working under like Mike Aiello and Laura Sauls, and he's killing it with the houses, and also I think he also worked on like the Toxic 20s Scare Zone and some other things. Really great storytelling. And this one, I'm a sucker for Pepper's Ghost effects.
Yes.
And they've got a ton of Pepper's Ghost. This is kind of like if you walked through Disney's The Haunted Mansion, but it was scary in Spanish, it would be like
I love that description.
I really enjoyed that one. But again, people have other opinions. Now, here's another one. Five Nights at Freddy's is, if you simply look at the wait times, absolutely the most popular house
Right.
at this event. Every single night, Stay and Scream has hit capacity, which is like 3 hours
That is
before
wild.
it 5:15, which here's a secret. They tell you the event starts at 6:30. It starts at 6. They'll open the gates around 6, but the houses start at 5:15 for Stay and Scream folks. And unless you get your wristband right at 3 o'clock, and you make sure you line up so you're the first person in that queue at 4 o'clock, so that you get through at 5:15, then you're going to wait 2.25 hours for the whole process, right? That's a best case scenario, because it's going to be 3 hours until the very end of the night. There's one brief time where Five Nights at Freddy's, around 9 o'clock, about 3 hours into the event, when all the people who came in and saw it was 3 hour wait and
Yes.
did other things finally circle back, there's like this brief dip around 9 o'clock. So Stay and Scream, first in line, check it around 9 o'clock, or wait until about 1 a.m.
1 a.m.
Those
yeah.
are your only choices.
Yes,
But
wow.
it's so the question is any house worth that? For Andy, he put it middle of the road. I put it higher than him, but I think we have very similar reasons. We love the animatronics. The sets are
Right.
straight out of the movie. All sorts of great Easter eggs if you play the games or have seen the movie. The blessing and the curse of this house is the animatronics. Jim Henson Creature Shop worked on them. They are picture perfect, but they can't really move. So it's hard to be scared of something that is just going to kind of light up and move its arms back and forth. There was one, I think there's a Foxy that looks like it's supposed to slide forward on a track that I didn't see moving when I went through. But for the most part, they're kind of like blocked into a very small space, and they're
Yeah.
not able to have the movement quality, the range of motion, because they are like these giant animatronic puppets. So
Right. I mean, they look amazing.
really cool
Yeah.
to look at,
Yeah.
but not necessarily as scary as they could be. All right. We have come now to my hottest take of this year's HHN.
Ooh, I'm ready.
Andy's opinion is probably the majority opinion, or maybe even a little too mild. He put Jason Universe at number 4, so definitely in his top half. And I've heard lots of people putting it at their, number 1, number 2.
Yep.
He loved it for the same reason that I hated it. If you want your Friday the 13th house to just have more Jason, more Jason, more Jason, if you want Jason's popping out of boo holes every 6 feet, this is your house. It is. I talked to Mike Aiello, and he used the word freight train and relentless to how they wanted Jason to appear, and totally accomplished that. But here's the thing: other than Jason popping up like a whack-a-mole all over the place, I didn't see any iconic environments or kills. There are hardly any victims. We get one nice kind of theatrical scene with Pamela Voorhees reciting her monologue at us. But again, then it's like 3 lines of dialogue that you'll hear her say 4 or 5 times before you walk through the scene. Which is a real problem throughout the houses this year, is that all of the audio cues, especially the dialogue audio cues that the scare actors are moving to, are way too short, and they only get one. All these characters say more than one thing, so give them some options, let them mix it up a little.
Do you go through like the camps or anything like that?
You go through a wooded area. It's very claustrophobic because it is inside the queue of Fast and Furious Supercharged.
Oh, yes.
So in past years, they've done Jason houses or incorporated Jason in another house that was a soundstage house or a tent house that had a little bit more breathing room. Here, you never really feel you're lost in the woods being chased by Jason. You feel like you're in a corridor that's lined with twigs.
Yeah.
You go past some cabins and through maybe one of them, but a lot of it is just like it actually uses like Hollywood levels of black curtains and
Oh,
black
wow.
walls and just a lot of fog to kind of make it an abstract thing. There's one nice scene at the end that's the graveyard. I believe it's the graveyard from the beginning of Friday the 13th part 6. Jason Lives, when he's electrocuted in the grave and brought back to life, which is, I think that's the finale. But there were so many things I wanted to see. Jason X, the cyborg Jason, he's not in there. I wanted to see the ferry or Times Square from Jason Takes Manhattan, or the worm thing from Jason Goes to Hell, or even the new Greg Nicotero design for Jason, which we see a mask is like a big walkthrough thing, but not actually the character. There's so many things that I wanted to see, and I got lots of Jason popping up, but not much else.
Interesting, because that kind of reminds me of the Michael Myers house from a few years back. But while we got a lot of him, we also got iconic scenes.
Yeah. I mean, the Halloween scene, the Halloween houses, at least they've been careful to try to, for the most part, follow a particular Halloween movie and kind of recreate beats of that plot. Whereas, there are no. I'm trying to think back. I watched a couple of videos. There really are no actual kills in. I wanted to see Kevin Bacon getting a arrow shoved through his neck. Some of those they've done, maybe because they didn't want to do them again. But it's been at least half a decade or more. So I think a lot of people would like to see those things again. Anyway, so that's my hottest take. I put Jason as my absolute worst house of the entire event. By a good measure, even worse than Fallout. And I'm sticking with it.
You gotta.
At number 3, everyone I have talked to has had this one very high on their list, even if they don't like the movies, have not been able to make it through the movies. Terrifier. I had this as my number 1 house. It was the one house that I asked to go through a second time. I was exhausted, but I was like, no, I gotta go and do that one again. I could barely make it, especially the third movie. I had to watch in 30-minute chunks because I love gore. I love Tom Savini, and I love all of the old practical gore effects, and I respect what the movies do, but it just rubs your face in it for so long. I actually enjoyed the house very much more because I could go through and see something for a second and not stare at it for a minute after minute. Yeah.
And he's like the belle of the ball. I mean, God, he's the breakout star.
I really want to know, particularly there is an Art the Clown. All the Art the Clowns inside the house were fantastic. They look the part, and they really have the mannerisms. They have the gestures. They really studied this character, and also all the other characters. Victoria, the little pale girl. But whoever the Art the Clown is, who they had working the media event and then walking around outside, just randomly terrorizing people around they are a true genius. They really, it is fantastic improv work. It is like the Halloween equivalent of the old Adventurers Club or Citizens of Hollywood.
Wow.
And it's like chef's kiss. I want a scare actor in the park every year.
I mean, seeing videos of him and Finnegan's just cracked me up. I mean, this is just genius. It's such a little thing to do that has such an impact on the event.
Yeah, they are deliberately keeping it a surprise and delight thing and not publicizing when and where he is, because I think it would become like the Megan hordes where people would just swarm him and make it impossible for him to do his bit.
And they already are swarming him. So hopefully we can behave. And
yes, please. That's why we can't have nice things.
Exactly.
All right. So Andy had this one at number 2, and I think as a wrestling fan, he is a little bit biased, but I was surprised that I had this in my top half, and I
Wow.
did not expect to. Um, it was WWE presents The Horrors of Wyatt 6, which I knew nothing about stepping into. I stopped watching wrestling when WWF became WWE.
Yeah.
But
Like an Andre the Giant back in the day.
but I know enough to appreciate that they really did a good job, like making an authentic, like wrestling arena and backstage environment. And the characters are really unique. They're really creative. They instantly iconic kind of characters. I didn't need to know anything about their backstory to really dig the vibe of the house. I think anyone who is a big wrestling fan will definitely have it in their top 3 or 4, and even someone who didn't know anything about it going in, I have it in my top half.
Oh, I'm excited for that one.
And then finally, Andy's number 1, and I think this is maybe because he is a Disney kid at heart, was Dolls Let's Play Dead. I also had this in my top half. I actually had it slightly behind El Artista, because El Artista's classical artistic tastes are more my vibe. But if you grew up as a Disney kid and you always wanted Sid from Toy Story and Darla from Finding Nemo to have a scary haunted house, this is basically it. This is
Wow.
it does a great job with the sets, creating the sense of scale, making you feel shrunk down to the size of a toy, kind of like the Toy Story Midway Mania queue. But it completely sadistic, with all of the toys having melted faces and eyeballs popping out, and good use of video effects to make it feel like the lead character who's torturing you is looking in at you through windows and stuff. It's got buttons you can push. I think it's the only one with 3 buttons that guest activated triggers, and you get to go through an easy bake oven.
Amazing. Yeah,
So
this
like
to me feels like classic HHN. Like
yeah,
10,
it
15 years
was.
ago.
I think every year needs something that is not dark and gothic and gory, but instead kind of goofy and colorful and a little silly, but still scary. They did was it the Sweets Candy Factory,
Yes.
and the Meats Butcher over the years. I always like the ones that have a kind of a weird sense of humor, and this one definitely has a sense of humor. So that is Andy's lineup of the top to bottom of haunted houses at Halloween Horror Nights, and my rebuttal.
So what was your number 1 again?
We as we both say in our respective articles, your mileage will vary.
Yes.
Not just may, but will. Because it is definitely every person's experience is absolutely unique. And before we go, though this article is specifically about the haunted houses, do not sleep on the scare zones this year. They have been seriously upgraded. A lot more story, a lot less just selfie zones, and a lot more interactive characters, elaborate props.
Crooked Cat Lady.
Crooked Cat Lady.
Gosh.
You got to hang out and watch, because every once in a while she drags a kid into her little house. She's got this house down by the animal actors, and she'll drag a kid inside, and they use projections, and it's worth checking out for sure. And also Nightmare Fuel. I think it gets better and better every year. Charles Gray took over for Jason Horn directing this year, and I think it's better than ever. Definitely make sure you see that too.
Yes, it is definitely sounding like a strong HHN.
I am ranking this as the best HHN of the 2020s, but I will admit that I maybe am a little spoiled by getting that media hosted RIP tour. It's really like I still have my one night ticket to go as a premier pass holder, to go on an off-peak night, which I will do, and I will try to see if it's possible to do all 10 houses. Every year I'm able to, but every year it's pushed me closer. Like last time, it was really getting into line exactly at 2 a.m. in order to get my last house in. I don't
It's
know
a
if I'm going
long
to be able
night.
to. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it this year. I just
No,
don't know
I
if
mean,
it's going to be
and
physically
honestly,
possible.
even with Express, because I time it every year, it
Yeah.
could be 45 minutes,
Yeah.
so.
I heard very mixed responses. Some people were saying they waited about half of the standby wait in Express. Some people were saying they only waited, 5 or 10 minutes in Express. So it always takes ops a weekend or so to figure out, how long a line means how long a wait, and how to do the mix between Express and standby. So, and I know on our night we had a ton. There were almost 30 VIP groups. That's a lot across the park. So, all right. So before we leave Halloween Horror Nights alone, if all of this sounds absolutely terrifying to you, but you still, for one reason or other, have to or want to go to Halloween Horror Nights, they are now selling a Deathly Afraid necklace, which is a little glow-in-the-dark necklace that you wear that tells the scare actors in the streets to leave you alone.
I mean, I'm surprised it's taking this long, because we've seen it at other theme parks around the country. The Nobu necklaces have been a
Yes,
thing.
this has been a thing.
while.
Yes, Scarowinds, I believe it has them.
Yep,
I think that the SeaWorld and the Busch parks
they
maybe
do,
have
yeah.
tried them. So you've already paid a good amount of money for a ticket to get into the park. But if you want to spend another $20, you can wear this. And when you walk around the park, back in the day, they used to have paths. There were no scare paths to make it around the park. But now the scare zones have expanded to the point where there's really no way to get through them. So for an extra $20, the scare actors will leave you alone for the most part. I
You know
don't.
what? Maybe you want to go to eat, because it is
Yeah.
basically now a horror
Food
food festival.
fest. Yes.
So
But I wonder, I'm sure someone in finance has run the numbers. There are other theme parks where the admission to the event is included in your daytime ticket, or at least reduced, and then you are paying to get into the haunted houses.
yes,
I think Six Flags use
that's
that
what they're
kind of
switching
model.
to. Yes, yeah.
So rather than paying to get in and then paying more not to get scared, it might be better to pay less to get in and then pay extra to get scared.
Yeah.
And that way it would definitely reduce the queues in the haunted house.
I
But
love that option.
that option is not coming anytime soon to Halloween Horror Nights, but this one is. So if you pick one up for yourself, please let us know if it actually worked.
Yeah, I feel like I love this idea. If you have sensory issues and want to go, I mean, do it. My one thing is it puts so much pressure on team members.
I do
But
worry
I don't think it's
because
fair.
it's one more thing. They're already working their peripheral vision to make sure they're not in danger. They're not endangering anyone else. A lot of time they've got costumes or masks that make it almost tunnel vision. And by the time you realize that someone is wearing that, you zoom off at the last second. But maybe they're still just startled by you looking at them. So yeah, it's almost I do feel for the team members who are going to have to adjust to this. Hopefully it is like they're given some instruction that this is like they're going to try, but this is not guaranteed. You cannot sue us if you accidentally get scared.
I know, because I'm thinking like I've gotten jump scares in the streets, so how would they know who they're jumping out? I don't know, but
yeah, well, especially since like the cat lady zone for example has a little section that's almost enclosed. It's almost like a mini haunt for a little bit. How would someone who is popping out of a boo hole even know that someone's wearing a necklace until they've already jumped out? So
exactly. I think it might be a case where it's like a security blanket. I had this conversation with someone. They're like, maybe it's a false.
It makes them feel, it's a placebo. It's a placebo.
Exactly. And also they're making more money. So I totally get it. It's an industry standard basically now. So
Yeah. Well, now for something completely different.
yes.
If you ever watched the movie Emperor's New Groove and wanted Kuzcotopia,
I can never
the
say
water park, to be a real place, well, it was for one night only. And our editor, Blake Taylor, was lucky enough to get to go and experience it. So this happened on August 30th, just a few days ago, and it was part of the D23 event held this past weekend in Walt Disney World. And it was a one night only after hours event exclusively for people who are attending Destination D23. Blake got to go and did a full report on the characters, the interactive activities, the food, and just the overall vibe of being in a Emperor's New Groove themed water park after dark. And this
Yes.
looked amazing.
It did. I mean, these are just super rare characters.
Yeah.
That you don't see in the park. So
yes,
it's pretty incredible.
Yeah. So Yzma, Kronk, and Kuzco himself all made appearances, and you're right. These are very rare characters, and I think that if they had just had these characters doing a standard meet and greet line, it would have wrapped around the entire park.
Oh, yes.
But instead, they were smart, and they just had them dancing on elevated platforms at a DJ dance party. Kind of like how Oogie Boogie has the treat trails with guests walking by or around the characters, as opposed to forming a single file line to stop and take a picture.
And I love that Disney World is doing more of this.
Yeah,
this is what
it's much more efficient. But what they did do is they created 5 new original characters. Very much these guys did very much have Citizens of Hollywood vibes to me. But they're all themed after Emperor's New Groove. There was Amikos, a squirrel cadet, Corey, Kronk's mentee, Parisia, a reporter from the Cusco Gazette, Yzma's makeup artist, and Yzma's wardrobe designer. And they were all new face characters who were kibitzing and interacting with the guests. In addition, they also had a live action Captain Mary Oceaneer.
That is the coolest. Yeah.
Yes. We've seen her as part of the SEA lore on the Disney ships, and also at the Typhoon Lagoon Misadventure Falls attraction. And she made an in-person appearance for this. And of course,
you got unlimited ice cream. So I mean,
yeah, snacks and sodas, and other photo ops with characters and step and repeats. They also had something called Exotic Bird Bingo, where I guess if you found these bird signs scattered around the park, you could get the DJ to announce your name over the loudspeaker.
I mean, I think the most shocking thing for me was that this was not an upcharge in addition to your D23 admission.
Yeah, normally, you go to a convention and there's like an after hours party that is an extra ticket. Everyone who bought a Destination D23 ticket, or like Blake was invited as media, was also invited to attend this. However, they did not get free samples of the exclusive food. They had Peruvian style rice bowls, burgers, garden flatbread, and a lemonade. I would have had to have ponied up to try the lemonade. There was a pisco sour with a touch of edible dust.
Delicious.
So you can read Blake's full review, but the too long didn't read is that he calls this one of the best evenings he's ever experienced in a theme park. He's a big fan of Emperor's New Groove, so got to take that as granted. If you know who these characters are, it's probably not going to mean as much to you. But he said it was really smooth and easy to attend. It was his first time at Typhoon Lagoon, and so that made it extra special. Little to no waits for the slides, and lots of exclusive characters. Sounds like a winner. I can only believe that maybe it's a test to see if they could monetize it. I'm sure they've got to be looking over at Volcano Bay, which
Right.
is bringing back their paid Volcano Bay Nights events on Fridays through September and October. So starting this Friday, you can do a very similar event at Volcano Bay. That one features Scooby-Doo characters, so I don't know, maybe not quite as iconic for some as Emperor's New Groove, but I think I would consider attending one of these if they brought it back as for paying guests in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah. It seemed like a smash success. And the only downside is it was only 3 hours. So I was like,
Yeah,
how do you do
that is
everything?
that is tough. It was a very short. I know when they do the Volcano Bay nights, there's a mix-in period, so you can show up a little early. But yeah, I just love the opportunity, especially it is still so hot here
Oh,
in Orlando in late August and September, to be in a water park after dark, so you're not dying waiting in line for the slides,
yeah.
and also getting to see the lighting at night because the light on the water is just beautiful.
It is.
If you're an Emperor's New Groove fan, you also want to check out Blake's coverage of the Emperor's New Groove panel that he got to attend at Destination D23. Featured producer Don Hahn and Patrick Warburton. And I encourage you, if you are a fan of the movie, to go on the Internet Archive, archive.org, and look up a banned movie called The Sweatbox. It's a
Oh,
documentary made by Sting's wife about the making of Kingdom of the Sun, which is the movie that Emperor's New Groove was originally supposed to be before they pretty much threw it all out and started over again. And it is the best, most honest, brutal documentary about how Disney movies were made in the era of Jeffrey Katzenberg.
oh.
So, yeah. For our last bit of news in the queue, we're heading out to the middle of the country where Kings Island has announced a reincarnation of their classic dark ride, Phantom Theater, is returning as Opening Nightmare in April of 2026, less than a year away, for a new family-friendly interactive dark ride with new technologies and favorite characters. And I did not grow up with this. I've never ridden the old version of this, but reading about it and seeing this concept art makes me excited.
Yes. I mean, I love Boo Blasters, which is what this will be replacing.
Okay.
The classic Sally Dark Ride, but this looks amazing. Just the artwork that we're seeing, it looks so cool.
Did you ever get to ride any the previous before it was Boo Blasters?
I didn't. I am a later in life Kings Island girl, so I don't know. I know of the lore, but I didn't get to experience a lot of the older stuff.
So Boo Blasters is going away today, yesterday, Labor Day, September 1st was the last day to ride it. Today, September 2nd, is the first day that it is closed. So sorry, Boo Blasters fans, but I believe that Sally Dark Ride has other versions of Boo Blasters elsewhere around the world.
Yes.
Construction of this one is starting right away to open up next spring. And they say that the new ride will quickly kick off with some laughs during a dark and stormy night, as guests enjoy a musical performance by Maestro, the theater's organist, until a lightning strike causes an outbreak of ghost notes, which cause chaos all over the theater. And the riders will have to team up with No Legs Larry, the head usher, to try to capture the ghosts. So ghosts trying to capture other ghosts with sort of a Ghostbusters-esque theme. But what I like hearing is that there are going to be 26 different scenes, and this is not just a screen-based ride. This is going to have physical sets, sensory effects, and animatronics of characters like Houdini and the Great Garbanzo. So lots of physical, practical things to look at.
Yes, I love this. And their ride vehicles, they're calling opera boxes. And so
Yeah.
in the pictures, they look really cool. They do look like a little opera box.
Yeah, they're absolutely, they look kind of Doom Buggy Omnimover-ish, a 3 passenger ride vehicle. And the riders are holding what looked to be flashlights. Now, from the concept art, the flashlights don't seem to be tethered or bolted to the ride vehicle in any way. I don't know if they will truly be, wireless, or if, maybe that's just for the art. But I'm curious to see what kind of interactive system they're using on this one. Sally Dark Ride usually has a gun with a trigger or something similar, and it's usually cabled to the ride vehicle. So
Yeah.
that might be a new system for them. We'll have to see.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. They recently redid the one at Carowinds, and it works really well now. So you can actually see what you're shooting. So
how is it different? Is it similar to how they've talked about upgrading Buzz Lightyear?
Yes, it's just you can much easily, before you couldn't see what you're doing, the guns didn't work. So they're new guns, you could actually see the target, and it's really fun. And like you said, like there's a lot of physical set pieces. So sometimes I ride Boo Blasters and I don't even play, I just look around.
Yeah.
Because they do a great job. Yeah.
Well, if you slid into Kings Island or any of the other parks in the Six Flags Cedar Fair chain, before September 1st, you could have picked up one of those gold passes like I did. Just don't use it at La Ronde like I did. But this will be available to those pass holders when this ride opens up in April of 2026. Not too far away. We'll be here before you know it. All right. That is going to bring us to the end of our news in the queue. Before we jump into the main attraction, I think first it is time for us to hear a word from our sponsor.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and MEI-Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI-Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at MEI-Travel.com.
It's time for the main attraction!
All right, for this week's main attraction, Blake Taylor, our editor, did not just get to attend the water park event for Destination D23. He was there for the whole thing, providing days of coverage. And we're going to go through a few of the highlights related to theme park news that was released this past weekend at Destination D23. Here at Walt Disney World in Orlando. It was actually a 3-day event, but day number 1 was mostly just shopping.
Yes.
And there was no dedicated parks panel like they usually have at D23 events. Instead, they kind of sprinkled park-related news throughout. So we're going to start with Sunday's news. The first is that the classic paint scheme for Cinderella Castle is coming back. The kind of gold pink look is going away. We're going with a much more classic blue and gray off-white.
Yeah, that was the big news. That was what everyone was blowing up over.
Yeah. Thank God it was not a pink birthday cake.
No.
In Paris, they are going to open World of Frozen, which is basically their clone of Hong Kong's Frozen Land minus the roller coaster. That is going to open in the spring of 2026. We still don't have an exact date, but we kind of narrowed down the quarter at least. And whenever that happens, they're also going to rename the park to Disney Adventure World, which is possibly the most generic name for a theme park imaginable.
Yes.
I would really hope that we're going to go with something like Disney Cinemagique or Cinemagic.
Yeah, distinctly French.
Yeah, because Cinemagique was the best original attraction for that park when the park first opened. It was this live action. It was like Terminator 2 3D, except with Martin Short and classic movies. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah,
but it was like
we have Disney Adventure Ship. Like there's a lot of adventure, so it's a little confusing.
Very, very confusing. But I guess it gives them room to stick any theme they want in there, and they don't have to justify how it fits into the overall theme. Anyway, a little closer to home at Magic Kingdom, we are getting a Villains Land at some point, and Disney legend Andreas Deha, who's the supervising animator for villains such as Jafar and Scar, is joining the team as a consultant for the design of the new land. They also talked about how they've been visiting France and Spain to study Art Nouveau architecture, which is inspiring what they're calling conjured architecture. So if you're into that, they've got a good blog post explaining that.
Yeah, some of the pictures, they looked like they were looking at some like Gaudi work in
Yes.
So I was like, oh, okay, I like where we're heading with this.
Yes, ironic because Gaudi was also a strong influence on the El Artista haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights. So I guess great minds think alike.
Absolutely.
On the Disney Destiny, Dr. Facilier will be making appearances with a play and grade experience involving parlor tricks, and might also be visited by some of his friends from the other side, I hear. They've got a piece of concept art for that. I'm sure that will be incredibly popular.
Yes. Again, these are the new kind of testing they're doing with meeting characters.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really curious to see how this shakes out.
And a whole bunch of Disney villains are going to be taking over Hong Kong Disneyland for Halloween. It starts on September 19th of this year, and there's going to be a cavalcade, a street show, and a musical spectacular. So they've done haunted houses at Hong Kong Disneyland in the past. Now it looks like they're expanding more into a not so scary sort of direction. The big news from Saturday, August 30th, was that a version of the animatronic Walt Disney that recently debuted in California in the Main Street Opera House is going to be coming to Walt Disney World. Now, I had suggested that this should go into One Man's Dream because they're already showing basically the same film that they show in California. But instead, this is going into the Carousel of Progress.
Yes.
We don't know exactly when, and there will be other changes to all the scenes, the family scenes. The family will be remaining, but they will get some upgrades that they did not specify. But I guess either maybe the introduction here, this will become the new introduction of the ride, is
that makes sense,
a Walt Disney animatronic. So it's interesting. I'm sure that they're not going to reinvent the wheel. That'll have very similar mechanisms. He'll probably start out leaning back against this desk behind him and then step forward like he does in California. But he's got much different props surrounding him than he has in the California version. So it'll be really interesting to see. I think everything around him here looks related to the 64 World's Fair or Progress City. So I guess they're going to change the timeline a little of when the animatronic is based on, because I think the one in California is supposed to be 63.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. And if you are as interested in minutia about Disneyland history as I obviously am, there's a new documentary coming from Leslie Iwerks. It's called Disneyland Handcrafted, and it's material that she found document the creation of Disneyland, that the fact that the park was built in exactly 1 year. Well, there was a lot of cameras on the ground filming it while it happened, and she and Marty Sklar, who's now passed away, found it while they were working on the Imagineering story, which is a fantastic documentary. So this is going to be on Disney Plus and Disney YouTube channel this winter.
Yes, very excited for
that. That was actually my biggest, because I love, but we've seen the same little clips of Disneyland's building of, Walt pacing
Right.
out the olive groves and the same 5 or 6 shots, and the fact that there's hours and hours of this stuff that no one's ever looked at.
I can't
Um,
wait.
I love that kind of both it's exciting and tedious at the same
Yeah.
time. There's a YouTube channel that I don't know where they get this stuff from, but they post archival behind the scenes Disney stuff, and they recently posted a couple hours of test footage of the Yeti animatronic in Expedition Everest when it was being built and
Wow.
programmed. And you can just sit there for an hour and watch the Yeti move his arm up and down and then move his body up and down. And, knowing the like painstaking work that goes into something, sometimes something that then is, basically discarded and never seen again. That's the exciting part for me. So,
And I'm
anyway,
excited because the tone of it is like the Imagineering story. So there's a lot of documentaries on Disney Plus. I don't like the playful, cutesy tone. I like the Imagineering story tone. And in the trailer, it's the same tone. So I was like, hallelujah.
I don't need the wacky sound effects
Yeah,
and the snarky comments from people who have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, I know.
I just, give me the footage, give me, just a minimum commentary from people who really have something to say, and, leave out the goofy overlays.
Yes.
Yeah.
Praise.
Speaking of overlays,
yes.
Tron Light Cycle Run at both Walt Disney World and Shanghai Disneyland are getting overlays, but hopefully they won't be goofy because they will be based on the new movie Tron Ares, which is debuting in theaters this October. However, you're going to be able to get to ride this version of the ride before the movie comes out, starting September 15th here in Florida. They're going to reprogram the lights, so it's going to have a red theme as opposed to the current more blue tones, and it's going to have music by Nine Inch Nails swapped out. They scored the new film because Daft Punk is no more. So, okay, next up, Officer Clawhauser from Zootopia made his walk-around character debut in the U.S. He's been seen in the international parks, but we've never had a meet and greet with him, and we still don't have a meet and greet with him.
No.
He just showed up on the
One day
stage,
only, yes.
did the Queen of England wave, and said bye-bye. But we will get to see him in animatronic form when the new Zootopia 4D movie opens at Animal Kingdom in the not-too-distant future. And finally, our final piece of news, we have dates for D23 in 2026, coming back to Anaheim from August 14th through 16th, 2026. This is the big one. It's a much bigger event than Destination D23. So start planning for that now, or plan to avoid it.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, luckily, if it's ended this year as any judge, mid-August, it's a slow time at Disneyland. So you won't have, hopefully, too many ordinary tourists unsuspectingly impacted by the hordes attending D23. Which, by the way, D23, yeah, it's formerly known as D23 Expo. It is now D23, the Ultimate Disney Fan Event. You have to say that full thing every time. They won't let you attend. Yeah. Well, okay, that is going to bring us to the end of a very full episode. It ran just a couple minutes over, so thank you for sticking with us. And also thank you, all of you who joined us in the comments. We got So's the Leader checking in from Brooklyn, New York.
Hello.
Greetings to you. And big greetings to Dave Vitrano. Thank you so much for the donation. Much appreciated. He hopes that Indiana Jones at Disneyland is updated to have what the new Animal Kingdom version will be like. I will say I got to ride Indiana Jones at the beginning of August, just after its most recent refurbishment. And it was great to see how good that ride is looking. All the major effects were working again. If you haven't ridden it in several years, they've done a lot with projection mapping effects. There's new collapsing hallway and some spirits. There's a lot of good things that have happened in that ride over the year. At the same time, I don't necessarily want it to be a complete clone. Like the Crystal Skull version in Japan's a little bit different, and I want the Florida version to be a little different so that I have a reason to ride both when I visit. So
then I think they'll keep it separate.
Yeah, but I will say that they definitely have not let. There was a bad period where Indiana Jones where everything seemed to be broken, and they have made efforts to make those effects what they should be. So Michael Bingham said he was trying to avoid spoilers for HHN. Sorry, Michael. But looking forward to Wyatt 6. I have a feeling that he'd be a fan of that as a big wrestling fan. So it's great. Vince Lamb checked in to wish everyone a happy belated Labor Day. Thank you. I hope you had a great Labor Day too. And who else do we have here? Troy McDonald checking in from Maine. Happy Summer Taco Tuesday. Hey, Troy. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I love tacos. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the positive comments. And it looks like he is a fan of food and drinks and rides in hotels and parades and resorts and so on. I'm right with you there, Troy. Thank you so much. And of course, hey, well, why should we change now? Let's give Michael Bingham the last word. Super pumped about Tron's overlay. So cool to see the original colors back in Cinderella's castle. I agree. I am a big fan of color theory. John Hench, who the late Disney legend was the Disney's kind of god of color theory, who came up with concepts like Go Away Green. And he picked the color palette of Cinderella Castle very carefully to coordinate with the color temperature that we get in Florida, because the angle of the sun is different at our latitude than it is in Anaheim. You know, the quality of the air we have is different, and colors look differently. So he very carefully picked those colors, and I'm so glad that they are respecting his legacy and bringing them back, at least until, I don't know, Stitch comes along and throws some toilet paper over it or something.
No.
All right. Well, I want to remind everyone once again to please give it us. Please first thank you to our sponsors, MEI Mouse Fan Travel. And oh, by the way, if I haven't mentioned it lately, do you know we have an Epic Universe magazine?
Our Epic Universe magazine is the ultimate grand opening souvenir for Orlando's newest theme park. It's got 64 pages of photos, vacation planning advice, and behind-the-scenes secrets from all 5 portals: Super Nintendo World, Dark Universe, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic, How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, and Celestial Park. It's not every day a new theme park opens in Orlando, so mark the moment and celebrate history with the Attractions Magazine Epic Universe grand opening issue, now available at attractionsmagazine.com.
And I also want to remind everyone to please give us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you happen to listen to it. And give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. Be sure to follow us at attractionsmagazine.com and search for Attractions Magazine on your favorite social media accounts. Carly, where can folks find you on the interwebs?
Yes, you can find me at Instagram at Adventures by Carly.
And you can find me at S. Kuberski or at The Unofficial Guides, and pick up copies of my new guidebooks, including the new 2026 editions of my Disneyland and Universal Orlando books coming out very, very soon at theunofficialguides.com. And until next week, we hope you folks stay safe, stay healthy, try something new, but most importantly, have fun, and we will see you again next time. Bye.
Bye.